Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Miami Heat insider speculates huge trade with Milwaukee Bucks could be coming, but not for Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Miami Heat have been linked to potential Giannis Antetokounmpo trade rumors in recent days. However, a team insider believes the organization is more likely to target a different star from the Milwaukee Bucks. The expectations for the Heat in the 2024-25 season are lower than they have been in past years. The club did not make any meaningful changes in the offseason and seems to be waiting for the right opportunity to add a big-time impact player from the trade market. That strategy makes fiscal sense. However, with top star Jimmy Butler showing signs of age and wear and tear from 14 years in the league, Miami doesn't have a centerpiece player to build around anymore. That is why it's unsurprising that the organization was immediately linked to a potential Giannis Antetokounmpo trade market recently. The Bucks have gotten off to a rough start this year. It has intensified speculation that he could do what many superstars have done before him and look to find his way out of town. The Miami Heat have been in the running for other stars that hit the trade block in recent years. One would assume they would pursue the 8-time All-Star. But over the weekend, South Florida Sun-Sentinel Heat reporter Ira Winderman suggested if Miami and Milwaukee made a trade in the coming months, it might not be for the player most expect. It could open the door for the Heat to make another run at Damian Lillard. And then the question becomes if the willingness would be similar to when the bid was considered for Dame in the 2023 offseason with Portland, Winderman wrote. For example, what previously did not stand as a question now might. Would you trade Tyler Herro and his youth, and his significantly lower salary, for Dame? For that matter, would consideration be made for a possible 3-team deal that would send Jimmy Butler to the Warriors and bring in Dame? He added. Some of the shine appeared to have been tarnished when it comes to a player who now is 34 and has 3 years left on his contract at $48.7 million this season, $54 million next season, and a player option for $58.8 million in 2026-27. But then came Saturday night's 41-point performance by Lillard that included 10 three-pointers. If the Bucks continue to tailspin, they will be forced to make a trade. Because of their bloated roster and lack of flexibility, most assume Antetokounmpo would be moved. However, there is no loyalty to Lillard and they could decide to offload some salary by moving him instead. A combination of an aging Lillard and Butler, along with Bam Adebayo, may not be enough to win a championship. But it would make Miami far more competitive in a stacked East than they are now. Good, bad, and ugly from the Miami Heat's crushing loss to the Kings. The same issues continued to plague the Miami Heat at home with bad free throw shooting and another horrific third quarter being at the top of Miami's main issues. But even with Miami's inconsistencies at home, a huge fourth quarter from Jimmy Butler and a clutch defensive play from Tyler Herro gave the Heat the lead back and had a 1-point lead late in the fourth. The Heat got the initial stop on the Kings, forcing a miss from De'Aaron Fox, but the Heat could not secure the defensive rebound, leading to a Domantas Sabonis game-winning shot and a gut-wrenching 111-110 defeat to the Sacramento Kings Monday night at Kaseya Center. All of Miami's losses this season have been at home, and while there were a lot of negatives in this game which we will dive into, let's take a look at a bright spot who can be a contributor to the Heat going forward. Pelle Larsson's minutes this season have mainly came in Miami either trailing by a large deficit or leading by multiple scores as Larsson made appearances in the Orlando Magic and Washington Wizards games. But in this instance, Larsson received real rotation minutes, and did he ever make an impact in his 25 minutes of play? Larsson finished with 13 points and buried 3 triples in the first half. Larsson's motor was also impressive, fighting for offensive rebounds and 50-50 balls with one deflection leading to Sabonis and Malik Monk having a miscommunication on a rebound leading to another Heat possession. Heat coach Erik Spoelstra also had a lot of confidence in Larsson's defense. There were multiple instances where Larson was defending Fox and ended up doing the best job out of the guards who attempted to defend Fox, who finished with 28 points. Spoelstra is still trying to figure out the rotations, but after Monday night's game, Larson deserves another shot at real rotation minutes to see if these performances can continue. The Miami Heat have multiple players who can get players in foul trouble and find their way to the free throw line. The issue is that the Heat have been very inconsistent from the free throw line and have an abysmal free throw percentage of 72% for the season. In a game where Miami lost by 1 point, Jimmy Butler missed 2 straight free throws to tie the game at 92, Bam Adebayo missed a free throw on an and-one opportunity, and Larson missed a free throw where 2 makes would have gave Miami a 97-96 lead. Later in the fourth, Adebayo went back to the line and made 1 out of 2 free throws. Had Adebayo made both, Miami would have been up 2 possessions, 103-99. Instead, Sacramento was always in striking distance by being in a one-possession game. For the most part, Miami showed great resiliency in the fourth to bounce back from another terrible third quarter to take the lead back. But every point ended up being costly, and the Heat will look back at the missed free throws as a huge reason as to why they lost. Best Giannis Antetokounmpo trade offer Miami Heat can make. The Milwaukee Bucks have made a horror start to the 2024-25 NBA season. They are 1-5 and at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. That has led to rumors about Giannis Antetokounmpo's future with the franchise, and unsurprisingly, the name of Miami Heat is involved. The Bucks seem like a win-now team that is incapable of winning. Under these circumstances, it is not hard to understand why Giannis might seek a move away. No top player wants to spend their prime on a franchise that can't compete. Giannis has already brought a championship to Milwaukee. So, a change of scenery would not be the worst idea in the world. It has been reported that Miami would be one of Giannis' preferred destinations if he were to leave Milwaukee. Of course, just the idea of Giannis in a Heat jersey is enough to excite Miami fans. What would it take to bring him to South Beach though? The Heat would have to give up a lot if they were to bring in Giannis, and a third team might need to be involved just to make it possible. In an article on All You Can Heat, Wes Goldberg has suggested the best trade offer that the Heat could make for Giannis. It would see the Bucks receive Bam Adebayo, Jamie Jaquez Jr., Kel'el Ware, Nikola Jovic and Pelle Larsson, while the Detroit Pistons get Alec Burks and a second-round pick from Miami. Obviously, that would lead to a drastic change in the Heat roster. They would be parting with arguably the face of the franchise in Adebayo, who was handed a massive extension just this summer. They would also be saying goodbye to their young core in Jaquez and Jovic alongside their 2 highly rated rookies, Ware and Larsson. The Pistons, or perhaps a different team, would come into the picture to help facilitate the trade. Of course, such a move would be very risky. But if this roster continues to produce mediocre results, at some point, the Heat would need to shake things up, and the chance to bring in a generational talent like Giannis does not come around often. He would represent the franchise's biggest addition since LeBron James. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Antetekounmpo? Leave your opinion in the comments.